Good day, my Freedmen. Everybody doing today? It's wonderful to see you all here. It's wonderful that you are making it. You're thriving, living, and what you should be. All praise to the Most High. Family, first and foremost, I wanted to give my heartfelt apologies about yesterday. The video that you guys saw, it cut really short, and I was not able to edit the video, let alone put up any thumbnails or anything to that nature. So what we're doing today is that this is going to be a part two of yesterday's lectures from failures, and we're not gonna go too far deep into that. I know y'all looking at it, stop messing with that light. We're not gonna go too far deep into that. But what I will do is I will there we go. I will just say a few words about what I was saying in relation to Obama and Sharpton. And these are my closing remarks on both. Um, Obama and Sharpton are bootlicks, and we know that. But the problem with those two people is that they're propped up as to being the spokesperson for our community, for which they're not. Neither one of them have successfully advocated for our Black community, and we don't need that. We don't need that. What we need is a solid foundation in politics, and they've used that to their advantage, and um, the advantage for their paymasters. Remember, I can't remember. I don't know if that was Simone Sanders who said, "Just shut up and vote." See, we're not doing that anymore. We're not taking that abuse. We're not going to be gender divided. We're not doing that. Okay. What we're doing is that we are staying on code. Okay. That's very important. Staying on code, making sure that what we what we demand is heard and carried out by the people that say that they are our representatives, and so on and so forth, that are representing the Black community, so on and so forth. So we are bypassed that phase in our community's life of just accepting a person that looks like you and I. Okay, these people that claim that they are our representatives. Okay, if you're going to be our representative, then we expect that that whatever our demands are, that you are going to fight for that. And we're not doing this all inclusive, all lives matter stuff, because that has never worked for us. Okay, it's always worked against us. So with that, let's move on and let's close this chapter of the dead racist that we love to hate, Charlie Kirk. There's about 4 points I'd like to, 4 or 5 points I'd like to cover. And I know that I'm long-winded, and I'm not going to, I'm going to try not to be, I'm going to try not to be. But I think that this is important because I I woke up, I'm normally up at 4. I woke up about 4:30, and I just laid in the bed, and I was thinking, with all this hubbub about TR 200, and I got that from brother Great Black Shark. Check out his broadcast. He had an awesome broadcast last night. Great Black Shark. Um, Great Black Shark actually got me going, okay, with this, because I was wondering, with with all of the all of the surface level stuff, Turning Point USA, this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, the surface level stuff. But what they refused to do was that they refused to expound upon his early life. Okay, they touch bases on it a little bit, but they didn't really go into Charlie's early life. And what do I mean? And first, let me give a shout out to this man, the late great Carl T. Rowan. This is a wonderful book. I got this book. Now I'm from Washington, D.C., and I feel ashamed that I did not know that Carl Rowan wrote this book. Okay, I saw a few of his others, but this book right here, get this book. This book, he wrote that book back in 1996. I think Brother Rowan died in 2001. I do believe he just recently passed. I do believe, but he got this book, The Coming Race War in America, A Wake-Up Call by Carl T. Rowan. Pick this book up. Pick this book up. And I guarantee you, this book really, Carl was on it back in 1995, 96, because he was right there with Lyndon Johnson, Kennedy, Clinton, Obama. He was right there. Okay, he heard and saw it all. Okay, so pick up Carl Rowan's book. This is a great book. It'll have you taking notes. I'm telling you, it'll have you taking notes, like many of our Black authors. So grab this book, and we'll talk about another book that I got a suggestion from Demetra K last night. I saw her show, the Demetra K show, and check her out also. So let's move on. Okay. As I said before, I was just wondering about Charlie Kirk's early life, his rearing, and it came to my attention that Charlie Kirk was born in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Okay. And he grew up in Prospect Heights. The demographics of Prospect Heights, now this is going to get you. It's 55% white. I don't like that. Okay. And 0% black. He grew up in one of the most whitest areas of America. 0% white. 0% black. Okay. So we have to understand his indoctrination. We have to understand who pulled Charlie Kirk's coattail about being a known bigot. Now, remember the words of our boy Al Sharpton. Remember Al? Remember what I said about Al? Al said We need to pray for Charlie Kirk. That's what Al said. I'm looking y'all in the face. I'm trying to keep it real, keeping it here. But Al said that Freedmen FBAs, he said that we need to pray for Charlie. Obama got into it talking about how I'm a paraphrase because I don't have my notes, but how dangerous it is to scrutinize. He basically said we should not be scrutinizing a known white supremacist. Many of you, I didn't know about Charlie Kirk until 2000, and the first time I saw a picture of Charlie Kirk was in 2015, 10 years ago. I did not know that he was this deep into his racist ideologies / political activism, for which he is not, / grassroots, and I'm going to prove that he was not grassroots, family. This man was not grassroots. My fingers are dry. That's why you see me look. Okay, let me start off with just now these are their words. These are their words. Charlie Kirk, born October 14th, 1993, died murked September 10th, 2025, was a prominent American conservative activist, author, and media personality, best known for co-founding Turning Point USA and his influence in the MAGA movement. Okay? His early life. Born in Arlington, Illinois, then grew up in Prospect Heights. We talked about that. He graduated from Wheeling High School and briefly attended Harper College before dropping out to focus on political activism. There we go with that word again. This is where it gets interesting. At just 18 years old, he founded Turning Point USA. Now he did. Okay, because see, there was what they're trying to do with his founding of Turning Point USA. See, they're trying to push it off on a guy by the name of Bill Montgomery. Okay, Bill Montgomery is the co-founder of Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk started. See, they're trying to, see, you know the white supremacist playbook. They throw a rock and they hide their hand. Okay? They throw a rock and they hide their hand. Okay. Amid to promote conservative values on college campuses. And that wasn't all. He was going around to high schools. Okay? So his indoctrination did not, see, they've been lying about that. They've been lying, saying that he was only approaching young adults. This scumbag was approaching children with that disgusting, filthy, racist ideology. Okay? Okay? He was approaching children. Okay. So now let me we're going to keep it rolling. Let's talk about his donors. This is the dark money. We already know about Bill Montgomery. Now, these are their words. Bill Montgomery, co-founder of Turning Point USA, donated the seed money. See, when here we go. They lied about Charlie starting Turning Point USA, but it was Bill Montgomery that he donated the seed money, okay, funding and strategic guidance that helped launch the racist organization. Bill Montgomery encouraged Charlie Kirk to not seek post-high school education and became Kirk's mentor and early financial backer, okay, when Kirk was just 18 out of high school. This actually accented Charlie Kirk's racist views he learned from his parents and family. Let's move on to a man. I didn't know this until 3 weeks ago. A dude by the name of Bernard Marcus. Bernard Marcus, co-founder of Home Depot, donated well over $1 million to political activist groups as long as they were conservative. Okay? Keep that word in mind, conservative. Bernard Marcus donated $2.5 million to Turning Point USA in 2023 alone, family, and its conservative causes. Let's move on to a foundation called the Bruce Rawners, RAUNER, the Bruce Rawners Family Foundation. Now, here's where we're talking about the donors and the dark money behind it. That foundation donated $100,000 to Turning Point USA in 2014 with a broader $2.4 million in conservative giving and campus outreach, just like Charlie now, just like Charlie. Okay, poisoning the minds. As long as you're poisoning the minds of white youth, okay, with anti-Black racist rhetoric, we'll give you all the money. We'll give you all the money you can muster. We can muster. The campus outreach. The foundation support aligned with TPUSA's mission to mobilize student activists and counter liberal influence, Black, in higher education. This foundation also heavily supported Planned Parenthood. Their words. Okay, this is going to get you. Number 4, Ed Hewling Family Foundation. And I'm going to tell you, okay, Ed Hewling, UIHLEIN Family Foundation, donated $275,000 to TPUSA between 2014 and 2016, with the largest single-year contribution being $175,000. The foundation's support aligned with this broader pattern of funding conservative advocacy groups, and think tanks. Professor Black Truth has warned us about these think tanks. As TPUSA was rapidly expanding during that period, establishing chapters on hundreds of campuses, college campuses, it was paramount for them to do so. This foundation not only supported Charlie Kirk, but it also supported other racist organizations such as, let's go down the list, and Professor Black Truth and Jason Black have mentioned these people. Conservative Partnership Institute, $1 million the day they donated $1 million the day after January 6, 2026, the January 6, 2021 attempted government takeover. Center for Security Policy, they donated $500,000 on January 13, 2021. Turning Point USA and Sons of Liberty, they donated $250 each right after January 6, 2021 attempted U.S. government takeover. The Federalist Society, Professor Black Truth, shout out to him, they donated $100,000. The Texas Public Policy Foundation, $50,000. The Judicial Watch, $25,000. And the FDRLST Media found nothing but the Federalist Society, right-wing media, $1.2 million. Lastly, American Cornerstone Institute, Conservative Partnership Institute affiliate think tank, 1.5 million and the research center, 300,000. Okay. That's with the Ed Ewing Family Foundation, their contributions to these conservative activist groups. That was the amount. But here's something interesting that I found. Other major donors. The other major donors. Now, we already talked about Bernard Marcus. But Bernard Marcus also gave an extra $2.5 million via the Marcus Foundation in 2023. Stephen A. Wynn, $750,000 to Turning Point USA. And Stephen A. Wynn is a casino magnate and GOP donor. Thomas D. Klingstein, $495,000, dark money people. He's a chairman of Claremont Institute. And this person, I don't know if this is the feminist or the masculine. This is feminist, the feminist name. Lynn Fries, Friess. Check this out. She donated $1 million to Turning Point USA just this year to expand Turning Point USA after Charlie Kirk's death. Now that had to be Charlie Kirk was murked September 10th. That had to be after the 10th, the 11th. Okay. Now here we go. I found that Ed Ewing Family Foundation also donated $50,000 extra, and crowdfunding. Hold on. Crowdfunding. Fight for Charlie. Fight for Charlie. They don't. Crowdfunding amassed a $6 million donation fund for Charlie Kirk. In essence, Charlie Kirk, 2024-25, even in his death, had amassed $1.25 million, $8,250,000 in this year alone, in 1 year. This is the dark money that Professor Black Truth had been hammering away for nearly 20 years, talking about how these people are propped up and come into power. This dark money, not the dark web. See, baby, dark money is right before our eyes. It is right before our eyes. Okay? So the reason that it's not always black and white. See, you've got people. Who's my boy? You got people like Bernard Marcus, co-founder of Home Depot. Now, brothers and sisters, we let's move on. Let's be quick about this, but let's hold on, pump the brakes for a second. How many times have I been in Home Depot? I'd say about forever. I was just in Home Depot about 4 months ago. I was just in Home Depot. How many Home Depots are in Black communities? Many, across the nation. But how many of us know that Bernard Marcus and the Marcus Foundation openly supported Charlie Kirk? I didn't know that. Would you want to spend your money in a man's establishment? Now, this isn't about a person that loves, that's a tree hugger. Okay. This isn't about a person who loves to grow, who loves to farm. You're not talking about going to a website and somebody who says, hey folks, welcome to my website. I've got a book here on herbal remedies. See that, and behind the scenes, they are anti-Black racists. See, all these people, Ed Uline, Bruce Rauner, Bernard Marcus, see, they have companies and organizations that are in our neighborhoods. Now, if they are so racist and hateful of freedmen, why do they put their businesses in our neighborhoods? The same reason that the Indian, that the Pakistani, that the Chinese, that the Koreans, that the Irish, that the Italians, the same reason that they put their businesses in our neighborhoods, to pull resources out of our neighborhoods, continue to pay their bills, put their children in colleges, give them the ability to buy land, to build more stores across the country, all at the expense of us. They do not support anything Black, only if it is a Black immigrant. The delineation movement that's going on right now, oh, it's paying off. It's paying off. It's paying off because we know, listen, Charlie Kirk was the tip of this iceberg. He was the tip. Dark money is the very bottom of the iceberg. Okay, now we know. There are many of you out there. You didn't have to wait for my broadcast to say this, but there are many of you. I'm keeping track of time because I don't want YouTube to cut me off. But there are many of you out there that know what I'm saying is true. But for the millennials, for you you Zoomers, listen to me. Listen to Uncle Stripe. Okay, listen to Uncle Stripe. I've seen it all. I've seen the worst that these crackers have done to our people. I've seen how they pit our people against one another. And that's for another broadcast. So let's continue on with what Kathy Hughes said. back in the 70s, information is power. Okay? Information is power. Okay. And Ed Uline, look up and see who he is. See the company. That's your homework for tonight. See what companies that Ed Uline has. You're going to be shocked because I bet you bought some stuff from him. But now that you know, and Biggie said it, if you don't know, now you know. Okay? If you don't know, now you know. Here's two words that they've been throwing around. And here we're going to get into Charlie Kirk's indoctrination a little bit further. They've been associating values and principles with Charlie Kirk's name. And you and I know that is far from the truth. Those two words have no business in the same sentence with Charlie Kirk. We know that. Values, the definition of values, the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Use it in a sentence. Your support is of great value to me. Okay. Principles, a fundamental truth, a proposition that serves as a foundation for a system of belief or behavior. Okay? Or for a chain of reasoning. These are the basic principles of justice. Okay, just throwing it out here. Let's go with Charlie Kirk's indoctrination. Now, these, family, the link is down there. This isn't strike. These are their words. These are their words. And I agree. And I'll tell you where I don't agree. Charlie Kirk's indoctrination into racism is attributed to his interactions with individuals who shared similar political ideologies. Our boy, Utah Governor Spencer Cox, has noted that Kirk's rhetoric and views were influenced by those who were deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology, his donors, the dark money, his family, suggesting that his beliefs were shaped by a network of individuals who supported his views. Additionally, the suspect involved in Kirk's shooting, now here they're trying to deflect a little bit, but this isn't about, what did Great Black Shark say? TR-200. Described as having left-leaning political views, indicated his indoctrination into racist rhetoric was likely influenced by social circles, the donors, and political affiliations. Now that came from advocate.com, advocate.com. I list my sources. These are their words. But I also ran across a guy by the name of Russell Kirk. And he wrote the 10 conservative principles. You can find him online. You can find him online. I want you, this is your homework, family. This is your homework. Go to that website, just read the 10 conservative principles, come back around to Charlie Kirk. Okay? And you'll see those buzzwords. Okay? The 10 Conservative Principles by Russell Kirk. Look that up. Okay. Let's move on. And we're going to close. We're going to close. I told you, we got to get to the point. We got to get to the point. Why Charlie Kirk was dangerous to Freedmen, to the Freedmen FBA community. His racist rhetoric and access to the United States government, suggestive racist policies and ideologies. This is what I put together for you today. Criticism of civil rights legislation. Kirk said, and he said this. Kirk said the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and I hope that was in yesterday's broadcast, was a huge mistake, claiming it created a bureaucracy that undermined constitutional freedoms. He also criticized Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Put that Reverend in front of his name because he was. They assassinated a Reverend. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., calling him awful and not a good person. Okay? Attacks on Black professionals. In one of his most widely condemned remarks, Charlie Kirk said that if he saw a Black pilot, he would hope he's qualified, implying that affirmative action compromises competency. The nerve. He also claimed that prominent Black women like Michelle Obama and Ketanji Brown, for which I don't give a damn with, but don't talk about Michelle. I don't give a damn about Ketanji Brown because she's an immigrant tether. And she did not do a damn thing. Neither did Michelle, but I care more about Michelle. Okay, because she's an FBA sister. Don't talk about Michelle. Women like Michelle Obama and Ketanji Brown Jackson only succeeded due to affirmative action and lacked the brain processing power to be taken seriously. Not Michelle, because that's a damn lie. Sister is a lawyer. Sister went to law school, cracker. Sister went to law school and graduated with a law degree. You racist, you dead racist bigot. Don't talk about Michelle. Anti-immigrant advocacy. Kirk was a headliner on immigration, frequently calling for mass deportations, the nerve, and expressing frustrations that Trump administration wasn't deporting more people. And see, that right there, that statement right there, gave me the impression, what about them niggas? Okay? President Trump, what about them niggas? He also claimed Islam is not compatible with Western civilization. Tell me when Islam became a conquering religion as opposed to Christianity. Did this racist bigot ever read the Papal Dolls? Okay. This is where, at this point, this is where I really started looking at how this dude was dangerous to us. Trump insiders, Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jason Miller, Stephen Miller, Davis Scavino, Brian Jack, Stephen Chung, Cheung, Susie Wiles, Chris LaCivita, Laura Trump, and Cash Patel. A lot of immigrants. And you got one immigrant in there that's darker than me. You hear me? You hear me, family? FBA, Freedmen, you hear me? Darker than many of us, but he got an Asian immigrant darker in there, darker than many FBAs. But his access, this is the dangerous part. His access to the United States government and political officials, government agencies, was uncanny. I had to search. I wanted to find out if this MFer, this dead racist MFer, had a government security clearance for which he did not. How does that tie in? How does that tie in to the security of Freedmen FBA community? How does that tie in? There is no public record or credible reporting indicated that Charlie Kirk was ever granted a security clearance by the United States government. These are their words. Charlie Kirk was a prominent conservative commentator and founder of Turning Point USA, but did not hold a government position that would typically require a clearance. Security clearances are generally reserved for individuals in roles involving access to classified information, such as federal employees, military personnel, or contractors working with sensitive data. So, okay, here we go. There is no credible evidence or public record indicating that Charlie Kirk was ever involved in selecting employees for the Department of Defense or any other U.S. government agency. Hold on. Charlie Kirk, we all know, was the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA. And while a prominent political commentator and activist, he was no activist. He did not hold any official government role that will grant him authority over federal hiring decisions. Did you just hear federal family? When you look at any government official, they go through an agency, Office of Personnel and Management. Okay? Office of Personnel and Management. I was a contractor there. I knew many brothers and sisters that worked there. They told me some shit you wouldn't believe. However, back to this. His influence has been primarily in media, education, policy advocacy. He was no advocate. And grassroots, he did not work for any grassroots organization because I showed you the dark money. The dark money. Grassroots organizations do not take money from dark money sources. Not informal government personnel. However, Charlie Kirk played a notable role in Trump's administration's selective process though not as an official staffer. Now, hold on. Let's keep. We want to keep this under an hour. He had no security clearance. He was not an official member of Trump's cabinet, but yet he was a notable role in Trump's administration selective process. He wasn't an official staffer. He didn't have a security clearance, nor did he go through the Office of Personnel and Management. Charlie Kirk was deeply involved in Trump's administration's vetting process for top-level appointments. His influence came from his close relationship with President Trump and senior advisors, as well as his leadership of Turning Point USA, which became a major force in political politics. Cabinet level positions. Excuse me, family. Cabinet level positions. Kirk was reportedly in communication with Trump and his inner circle during the selection of key figures like the Secretary of Health and Human Services. In fact, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. credited Kirk as the primary architect of his unification with Trump. This man had no political clout, no U.S. government prowess, no security clearance, nothing. Now here, your boy, J.D. Vance, vice presidential pick. Vice President J.D. Vance publicly stated, and I quote, "If it weren't for Charlie Kirk, I would not be the vice president of the United States." End quote. That highlighting Kirk's role in shaping the ticket. Here is the reason. I just spelled it out for you, family. And I pray those links show up. I pray that those links show up. Here is the reason why Charlie Kirk was and his ideologies are still dangerous. Because this man was able to sit at the seat of Donald Trump's cabinets having no experience in political architecture, only the mouth of racism. But here you go. That's what they needed. They needed the Trump administration, like many before him. Even the Nixon administration with the war on drugs. See, they needed a racist mouthpiece because they could not say that. They could not come out with that. They needed a racist mouthpiece to backdoor racist judicial system policies, racist government policies to shield for their anti-Black racism. And say, well, wait a minute, this is what the country voted on. Okay. This is what dark money does, family. This is what dark money does. If you've got the clout, the Uline, Bill Montgomery, Bruce Warner, Bernard Marcus, co-founder of Home Depot. When you got that dark money, you got dark money to shield you from. Wait a minute, I didn't say that now. I didn't say what Charlie Kirk said. Nah, motherfucker, you help push the racist agenda with that money. They didn't say it directly. These people didn't say it directly. They used Charlie Kirk to say it. Over 12 million. When he got murked, over 12 million. I really think it's close to 25. I really think it's close to 25 million this man died having in his bank account. Turning Point USA. That's what they do, family. That's what they do. And Al Sharpton at Obama had the audacity to tell you, the recipients of anti-Black racism, to pray, fuck Al. Fuck Al Sharpton and fuck Obama. You sitting up, setting us up for more abuse. Here, family, I was on a Demetri K show a couple of days ago. I was in the chat. And I shared with her something, we got a few more minutes. I shared with her something that I noticed at 6 years old. My brother was 6 months old. My grandfather, I love you, Granddad. My grandfather died in 1968. I was 6 years old in 1968. At my grandfather's funeral, my brother had skirted away from my mother. So I went to pick him up, and my brother was actually crawling. I mean, I can't remember when exactly my brother started working, but he was the earliest walker, along with my other siblings. Very early walkers. Okay, so he skirted away. And I was listening to the pastor, and he was spitting game, and I just so happened to look around. The pastor had a rifle and a pistol behind the pulpit. Why do I say that? Why do I bring that up? First of all, both Obama and Al Sharpton are two house Negroes. One is an immigrant tether, and the other one is a straight up house Negro that I wish that they would both die and burn in hell. They have been misleading our community for far too long, and you cannot trust them. Not one word coming out of their mouths, not one word of chastisement, because that's all they do. That's all they've ever done. It's to wag their finger at our people, telling us that we had something to do with Ayanna Stanley Jones's murder, that we should be better fathers to our children. Nah, fuck all that. No. Kiss my ass. You ain't going to sit up in here and chastise us when we have got white supremacists out there that are murdering our people with impunity. You are not to listen to them. My generations behind me, don't listen to that shit. Pay attention to the teachings of Carl Rowan. Pay attention to Brother Malcolm. Pay attention to our living legend, Shahrazad Ali. Listen to the lectures of Francis Cress Welsing on white supremacy. Khalid Muhammad, Brother Nuri Muhammad, Wesley Muhammad. Listen to Professor Black Truth. Listen to those people who will lay it on the line. None of them will tell you, hey, listen, we got to kiss white ass. Fuck all that. You don't kiss nobody's ass. You demand that they kiss yours. You hear me? This is not a channel for children. This is a channel for people that must be enlightened. And I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all anything, tell my younger generations anything wrong. Damn it. Listen, you got some nasty people out here. From Florida to Maine, from DC Union Station all the way to LA. You got some nasty white supremacists, and Charlie Kirk was the nastiest of the nastiest bastard white supremacists we have ever known. The fact of the matter is that now that his anti-Black racism is front and center, look what they did to Jimmy Kimmel. You can't even say nothing about white folks are getting fired from their jobs. That is how much of a dictatorship that we are in right now. And that's going to be another lecture, another broadcast. Racism versus fascism. They're both one and the same. Don't you ever heed the words of a house Negro like Al Sharpton. He's no reverend. Reverends of the day should have a gun right next to the Bible that they are preaching. You preach self-perseverance. You don't preach bucking and shucking and jiving. No. That is not good enough. You preach empowerment, okay? You preach that you are supposed to not just stand up against anti-Black racism, but you are to respond the way that you are treated. That's what you preach, Al. If you're not going to preach that, shut your damn conk hairdo ass up. Go off someplace, wither away and die, you bobble-headed fool. You disgust me and I piss on you. That is how you empower a generation. Ladies, sorry for the mouth, but it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind, and it really erupted when I watched that video of Al Sharpton. It just didn't register. I said, what did this Negro just say? What? Pray for Charlie Kirk. This is what I got for Charlie Kirk. And burn in hell. This has been Panther Strike. My brothers and sisters, I thank you for tuning in. I love you all. Hold the fort down. Keep your head on swivels. Get ready, family. Get ready. Because we haven't seen anything yet. Peace to you all. Empowerment to you all. May the Most High bless you with wisdom, knowledge, and wealth. Good day.